Hi everyone, so we're going to move on to our last type of joint here. So this is the one we're probably most familiar with and called synovial joints. So synovial joints are diarthrotic, so they are freely moving. And our general structure here is going to be, they have articular cartilage on those ends of those bones to help resist wear and minimize friction. We're also going to see a subchondral plate. This is going to help absorb some shock of those bones. A joint capsule that's going to hold the bones of the joint together. We're also going to see different ligaments. These are different connective tissue that reinforce that joint capsule and connect bone to bone. It also helps prevent excessive movement of that joint. And then we're going to see a synovial membrane, which surrounds the synovial cavity, and it also secretes a clear viscous fluid called synovial fluid. Our meniscus is going to help distribute that body weight. Our bursa is going to contain that synovial fluid and aid in that movement of the tendons, so tendons connect muscle to bone. So if we take a look here at our joint here, we can see our articular cartilage on the ends of these bones, our synovial membrane, which is around here. Inside, we're going to see that synovial fluid, our joint capsule, which is made of that those ligaments. So this is kind of the general structure of those synovial joints here. So again, this one's a little more complex here. This is our knee joint, because we can see our patella is in here as well. So again, we're going to see that fluid that's there, the articular cartilage that we can see on all of the edges of those bones. We can see that bursa, our menisci, and then again, we see these ligaments that are making up that joint capsule here. And all of those different components inside of that, this entire joint here. So if we're taking a look at some different types, our first type is going to be this ball and socket joint. So ball and socket joint is kind of what it sounds like. These are going to be the joints that of our hip, of our shoulder, where we pretty much have a free movement all around. So our joints and our shoulders can move pretty much in every direction that we see. Our next joint is called a condyloid joint, and these are going to be the joints in between our carpals and our phalanges, our metacarpals and our phalanges, to help our fingers move in this very fine motion that we can see. Our gliding joints we're going to see in between our carpals and our tarsals. So kind of a gliding movement, moving side to side and around each other. Our next one is our hinge joint. So we can see our hinge joint at both our elbow and our knee. So it's kind of just that forward and back movement that we can do with those two joints there. So we can either move up or down with our hinge joint, just like kind of like the hinge of a door. Our next one is a pivot joint. We can see that pretty much only with our neck, but we see it a little bit as well with our wrist, with our radius and our ulna. That would also be considered a pivot joint there. Then it allows us to move back and forth with our head. Another joint is our saddle. It's called a saddle joint. So it allows our thumb, the carpal and metacarpal of the thumb here. So this would see, it kind of looks like a horse saddle here with that curve. So those are all the different types of synovial joint movements that we're going to see. Joint types, I should say, not movements. So really go back through all of those. Try to make up a way that you can remember those types of movements there and how you can do those types of synovial joints. If you have any questions, let me know and we can go through those more specifically.